A girl called Mary. A sweet girl called Mary was loved by all, you see. She was her parents' only child and always tried to be thoughtful, kind, and helpful in every way she could. She had a strong belief in God, and in her faith she stood. A neighbor boy, Joseph, who sometimes helped her dad, came to their house often, which made Mary glad. The love between these two grew every time they met, but Mary wasn't old enough. They couldn't marry yet. Someday they had a plan to become man and wife, and with this love she would spend the rest of her life. When the day finally came, she was so delighted, and as he proposed to her, they were both excited. The wedding was set to take place the next year. This was called betrothal until the time was near. It was custom that a house be built by the groom. Mary was busy gathering what was needed for each room. One day, while outdoors, an unusual guest she had, an angel named Gabriel. Was this good or bad? When Gabriel told her that his message was from God, she relaxed and listened, although she thought it odd. Why would God choose me? That she didn't get. How can I have a baby for him? I'm not married yet. Gabriel went on and carefully explained it all. Finally, she agreed God would not let her fall. At that very moment, it happened to her within. She felt very different than the way she had been. When she told dear Joseph this amazing news, though he loved her deeply, he felt somewhat abused. That very night, while he was fitfully asleep, Gabriel, the angel, spoke to him in a voice so deep. From then on, this man stood by her side, and as soon as possible, she became his bride. There were a few months before they were wed when Mary visited Elizabeth, whom God had led into a long-awaited pregnancy, which was a thrill. She had passed childbearing years. It was God's will. Elizabeth's child leapt inside her when Mary told the story of how the angel Gabriel had come in all his glory. "Hail Mary, full of grace," Elizabeth cried, "you are blessed, and the fruit of your womb, Jesus, must be the very best." Mary was feeling heavy with this child of God, but now it was necessary for the couple to trod to the town of Bethlehem, where the census would be counted. Joseph walked beside the donkey upon which Mary was mounted. It was getting close to time for the baby to be born. Where was a shelter? They were tired and worn, but there was not a single inn in which for them to stay, and so an animal stable is where they chose to lay. This was the place that Mary delivered God's Son. This was the place that a new world was won. A special star did shine that night that filled the sky with light so bright. The shepherds listened while angels sang, and wise men walked as heavenly bells rang. They followed the star that led everyone to the tiny stable to see God the Son. These earthly parents watched in awe as the tiny babe slept in the straw. It would be their job to raise this child, to grow up a carpenter, strong yet mild. This girl called Mary, now the Mother of God, would follow his footsteps as over the earth he trod. She would see his miracles and feel his pain. She would weep at his cross when he was slain. She would see her Son when he arose from the dead to save the believers from the hell they did dread. Mary would know that her Son paid the price to save our souls by his sacrifice. Years later, when Mary's life was ended, her own body, like her Son's, into heaven ascended. She is surely heaven's queen, seated by God the Son, praying for all the world, our heavenly Mother one.